Zira didn't just show up out of nowhere. Her loyalty to Scar, her anger at Simba, and her hatred of the Pride Lands all started way before The Lion King 2. And now, after the Mufasa prequel movie, fans are starting to connect the dots. Turns out, Zira might not be just another angry lioness. She could be one of the original outsiders who fought against Mufasa when he was still just a young cub. And if that's true, then her story goes way deeper than we ever imagined. Right away, you can tell something is different about Zira. Her fur is pale, her face is sharper. She doesn't look like Nala, Sarabi, or any of the lioness from the Pride Lands. It's like she comes from somewhere else entirely, and now we might know why. In Mufasa the Lion King, we meet a group of rogue lions. They live outside of the circle of life. They attack, destroy, and leave nothing but fear behind. They don't belong to any pride, they're called the Outsiders. Sound familiar? In the movie, we meet Kairos, a powerful lion with one goal: take over the Pride Lands. He leads a pride of outsiders who hate every other lion pride in the land. They believe in chaos, not balance. And when Mufasa was just a cub, Kairos even tried to take him out. See, the thing is, he lost his son in battle against Mufasa and swore revenge. But here's the part that matters. Zira does the exact same claw mark on the wall in The Lion King 2 that Kairos does on a tree in the prequel. That scratch mark is their sign, a symbol of hatred. Zira didn't just copy that mark. She knew it because she'd seen it before. Think about it. Zira's behavior matches the outsiders we saw in the Mufasa movie. She's cold, ruthless, and loyal only to Scar. She doesn't care much about her own kids, just about revenge. She slapped Kovu when he showed kindness. She ignored Nuka because he wasn't strong enough. Her only goal? Take back the throne and honor Scar's name. And that's exactly how the original outsiders lived. They didn't love, they didn't forgive, they lived for war. And if Zira was one of them, well, that explains literally everything. Back in the prequel, Mufasa's pride wasn't strong enough to fight the outsiders, so Mufasa and Taka, who later becomes Scar, were sent away. Their father, Obasi, knew that he had to protect the future. But even after escaping, the outsiders came looking for him. They followed them across the land. And eventually it all came to a head. Mufasa, with help from animals he met along the way, won the battle. But not all of the outsiders were destroyed. Some of them escaped. They disappeared into the shadows. And what if Zira was one of them? After the battle, Mufasa became king. And Scar, he wasn't happy. He'd always felt like the throne was meant for him. But instead of getting the crown, he got a new name, Scar. He was bitter, jealous, and angry. So what did he do? He went back to the one group that hated Mufasa even more than he did, the Outsiders. He met with them in secret, he made promises, and that's where he met Zira, the lioness who shared his rage, the one who saw him not as Taka, but as the true king. And together, they planned their revenge. Zira didn't just admire Scar, she worshipped him. She believed in him like nobody else. She saw him as the only lion strong enough to take back what belonged to their pride. And that obsession, it didn't come from just stories, it came from history. Because if Zira really was one of Kairos' lionesses, then Scar wasn't just her leader, he was her chance at revenge, her way of finishing what Kairos started. And Scar gave her something else too. Purpose. When the world saw her as a monster, Scar saw her as a queen. That's why she raised her cubs to follow him. That's why she could never move on. After Kairos lost the battle, most of his army was either defeated or scattered. But the ones who survived, they didn't just disappear. They retreated to the Outlands, a dry, cracked place where no food grows and no pride wants to live. But for them, it wasn't about comfort, it was about waiting for a leader, waiting for revenge. Zira likely grew up in this place, surrounded by lionesses who were angry, bitter, and loyal only to Scar. These lionesses passed down the story of Kairos, of Mufasa, of how everything was stolen from them. And Zira, well, she became the fiercest of them all. She wasn't just part of the group, she became their leader. In the end, Kovu and Vitani turned their backs on Zira. Why? Because they didn't carry the same hatred that she did. They were raised in the Outlands, but they saw the truth. They saw that Simba wasn't a monster. They saw that the circle of life wasn't evil. And they saw what Zira couldn't, that peace is stronger than revenge. So when the final battle came, they chose Kiara. They chose the Pride Lands. And Zira, she refused to let go of her rage. She tried one last attack, and it cost her everything, even her life. Zira was stuck in the past. She never healed, she never forgave, and all she had left was her loyalty to Scar and her anger at literally everybody else. If she really was one of Kairos' outsiders, then that explains why she couldn't change. Because she wasn't just angry for herself. She was carrying the rage of an entire lost pride. A pride that believed they were wronged. A pride that never got their second chance. And Zira wasn't just trying to avenge Scar, she was trying to avenge them all. That mark Zira scratches on the wall in The Lion King 2, it's not random. We now know that Kairos used the same gesture to mark his territory. It was more than just claws on stone, it was a sign. This is ours. When Zira makes that same mark, she's doing more than expressing anger, she's making a claim on the Pride Lands, a claim for the outsiders. It's the ultimate act of defiance. And now that we know where the mark comes from, it's also a clue to Zira's origin. Putting it all together, it makes sense. Zira wasn't just Scar's follower, she was trained in the ways of Kairos. She was part of a pride built on survival, revenge, and darkness. Her pale fur, her harsh nature, her complete devotion to Scar, it all connects back to the original outsiders. And maybe that's why she never fit in with the Pride Lands, because she never came from there. She came from something much older, much angrier, and much more dangerous. She was basically a Sith. So why does all this matter? Because it changes how we see everything. Zira wasn't just another villain, she was part of a much bigger story. A story that began before Mufasa became king. A story that began before Simba was even born. She carried the legacy alliance who believed the world owed them something, and she tried so hard to pass that legacy on to the next generation. But in the end, love and unity won. Kofu chose Kiara, Vitani chose peace, and Zira? She chose hate and lost everything. So, was Zira really one of the outsiders from Mufasa's time, or was she just another lioness scarred by the past? Well, the clues are strong. The behavior definitely fits, and the timeline, it all adds up. Whether Disney confirms it or not, fans now have a powerful new theory to explore. Zira's origin is more than a mystery, it's a missing piece of the Lion King story. Do you think Zira was part of Kairos' pride? Or is there another secret behind her past that we haven't discovered yet? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you like this, please remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell to get more Lion King content. And until next time, Hakuna Matata.